Mr. Rizwan, as we talk about ecotourism, and which is growing rapidly, and I believe Taj also has properties as Taj Safari. What are your environment-friendly initiatives at your properties for using the different efficient use of energy and water and materials, and providing quality service that Taj is so famous for? You need to unmute, please.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Ritu, I think we've been working on this for a long time now, and solar energy is one of the key initiatives that we've been using, and which is also a mandate. Then we've changed to LED lighting entirely in all our properties now. We're not doing anything else other than LED lighting. We're using energy efficient chillers, and controlling them with VFDs and all. So that is where we're saving on energy. Then in terms of water, we're doing low flow fixture, the way David mentioned about earlier, and so did Gaurav and Rahul. Everyone spoke about, and Abhishek also about low flow fixture. So these are some of the stuff that we're using. Now in a property in Andaman that we opened a couple of years back, we've also gone with zero plastic there. We have a bottling plant. That is one of our first zero plastic property that we've commissioned in the year 2018. We've installed a bottling plant, and there's no plastic that is being used in that property. And when it comes to materials, that particular property also, we've reduced the consumption of civil material. We've constructed all the rooms, all the guest rooms with timber. They're all in timber. So that is where also we've sort of made use of a lot of material that reduces the consumption of energy. So timber is one, and a lot of usage of glass. Even on our facade, we're using low E glass and TGU glass to also reduce the heat load, to reduce on the energy. So these are all the measures that we are using, and also biogas to some extent in some properties to take care of some of the load, not entirely, but at least some of the load of the staff areas, the back of house areas. We're using biogas as well. So these are some of the key initiatives that we have been implementing for quite some time now. And I think it's being carried forward on all the new ongoing projects as well.
That's very nice. I hope I get to travel there soon once the traveling is a little more comfortable. Yes. I would love to come and see that.
You should. Yeah, you should. Definitely. It's open. The resort is open now. Yeah.
Okay, great. So coming back to Mr. Cooper, I had noted on your presentation, there is a word which said human-centric. And that really caught my eye because it talks about how the focus is on the human being and the product is human-centric. And I think that was a very interesting word to start the presentation with. And would you like to talk about the commitment, talk more about the commitment to minimize ecological, environment, and social impact, as we have seen earlier? You need to unmute.
Sorry, apologies, thank you. So water has been at the core, our passion for at the core of our business for over a century now. And we have been focusing now on our carbon footprint for a number of decades. And besides being the first to bring sophisticated technology and long-lasting quality and design to our product, we also act responsibly to make sustainability an integral part of not only our products, but also how we manage our operations, our processes, our employees, and also our suppliers. So just to give you some examples, so in production we recycle 90% of the water that we use. Of the waste. Our new electrolyting plant has helped us reduce water by around 35% and cuts the water consumption by up to 15% as compared to as recent as 2016. We have used 30 metric tons of recycled material by using renewable materials in our product packaging. And one of our guests also alluded to earlier that when sometimes when you're in a hotel, someone doesn't care, they might leave a mixer running. So all our mixers are standard at 5 liters per minute. So I think these are just a few examples demonstrating how we are committed to environmental responsibility, not only in, let's say, how we manufacture our product, but also in our products.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Coming to Mr. Hariharan, you had mentioned that your role is in procurement. And can you tell us more about the Taj corporate strategy for procurement? And in the current scenario, is there an impact on the supply chain due to the pandemic?
Ritu, procurement as a process universally is known as cost, quality, and delivery. These are the three factors. But now we have added on additional factors to it. One is sustainability. The other factor is your digitization. That is one of the major roles that we do on procurement. So when we say procurement, it is just not products; it's products and services. So one is the physical products, and other is services. We also do responsible sourcing. That is one of the major focus for procurement that we need to do it. Single-use plastics are being taken out with the biodegradable materials. Then energy efficiency like solar and other power LEDs that is being used. We have come across with MNCs which when they ask for RFP to us, that one of the requirement is responsible sourcing. So what is the responsible sourcing? Is it audited? What is the proof? So we do responsible sourcing. We do a risk management also with the vendors, saying that what risk we have with the vendors that we associate with it. So there are various strategies that have been taken into procurement. Just not earlier it was purely like pricing. No, pricing is one critical factor. We understand you do the RFP tendering and everything. But besides pricing, you have to look at various other non-tangible factors like the payment terms, the warranties, the AMCs, particularly for capital goods. What is the post-factor sales in terms of the commercials, in terms of the SLAs? So those are critical when we do the procurement as a strategy also. We are into forecasting in warehousing where we are 100 hotels. Earlier, 100 hotels used to place 100 orders each hotels, but it's all in 3PL now, where one source is there where all the products per se, the daily consumables are being bought out, that those are there. We are into brand standardizations. So a lot of initiatives are undertaken, but unfortunately this pandemic has thrown a different vulnerabilities and exposed us to the vulnerabilities that is there now. And we have come across more on local versus global. So that is one of the things that how much today you have major players manufacturing in India, so that is one of the advantage that we have in sourcing locally in terms of timelines and other factors that are there. Currently with the pandemic, I know it's a difficult situations and the volume of procurement has come down, but this is the time that we need to think forward, what can be done. It's a learning experience. Virtual meetings were never ever thought about before March. You couldn't have a meeting without across the table, particularly if you are discussing commercials and other things. But today we close number of contracts and everything on the what you call the virtual meetings. So these are the new things that we learn on day-to-day basis from the procurement. And again, when I say procurement, I always look at procurement as not only products but services. There are various services which are there, say a software, say a broadcasting service, you name it, and you need to strategize depending upon the product. Is it a one-time consume product? Is it a lifelong thing, say for elevators or say bathroom fixtures? Again, one of the examples which is there, which you're not going to change it in next 10-15 years, then you need to plan it accordingly. So it is on a day-to-day basis that is taken a call.
I think that's wonderful, because that's an indirect value to the guest as well. When you are so consciously and, as you said, doing responsible sourcing, you're actually benefiting the guest who's actually the end user. And I think it's music to a designer's ears when you say that price is not the main criteria, and there's so much more that goes into it with quality and like you said, the carbon footprint and the other social sustainable aspects. So that was great to hear about that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Gaurav, Well, we've spoken about mid-market and luxury as well, and luxury is important to the hotel guests, but so is the environment, as we spoke about. Both are valuable. So besides Hansgrohe's initiative to reduce water consumption, any other innovations for conservation that you have applied in the products?
Sure. So actually there are three elements to your question, and I'll just take them one by one. I think first is just an understanding of luxury and our core strengths and how we kind of line up against that. So for me, luxury has three aspects to it. One, it needs to be differentiated and very exclusive. I think Hansgrohe's core pillar is innovation, and that kind of resonates to this aspect. The second is that luxury is timeless. I think Mr. Kadri also mentioned that, and it's very genuine and authentic. Now, here, if you look at the fact that we work with designers, leading designers all across the globe, they choose not only a product design, but also the materials that come up into the final product, which takes care of the fact that over years and years, you can still be comfortable and still feel luxurious with the product that you are facing. And the third one actually is the pursuit of excellence. So to some extent, I'm a proud Indian, but the German heritage and the precision engineering that they are well known for obviously give a product that kind of corresponds a bit more to that. The second part of the question, actually, I need to first acknowledge that a lot of efforts from most of the manufacturers have been around water conservation. I think Mr. Hariharan also took up that point that we need to go beyond water conservation by way of not just lowering the flow of water, but having more systems that go around it. Hansgrohe has in the past actually looked at filtration systems where it has actually captured water. It has actually even captured the heat that gets lost in a warm shower and tried to reuse that as well. But the third part was on the technologies of the future, and I would like to introduce a platform that we are rolling out or in the process of rolling out in Germany, which is called Pontos. Now, this is something that not only talks about water conservation, it's about water management and actually to some extent controlling the living environment that you are in. So this consists of two particular components. One is the Pontos base. This is like an electronic unit that gets put at the mains of the water entry into the apartment. This unit is a digital valve, so it measures the flow of water that goes into various places in your apartment. Over a period of time, you can actually have trends of water consumption. You can also see any conspicuous changes in that trends. At any point of time, if you feel that there is a very abrupt or a very abnormal change, there is an app by which you can actually control to even shut off the water. At times when you're going away from home, you can actually shut off the water too. The second component of this is called the Pontos Scout, which is actually our Alexa. So this can be placed at various components, various places in the house, depending on where you consider there could be damage on account of a water leakage, or where it can be integrated with other appliances to control certain aspects. So here, actually, it can be integrated to control the temperature of the room. It can be integrated to look at humidity in the room. And if there is any excess water that falls on this device, you will get an early warning alarm. So these are the kind of technologies that we are working on. Most of them are on, of course, the IoT platform. And most of them need infrastructure to come in from a holistic perspective, which is why it will be rolled out in different parts of the world at different phases. But I'm very hopeful that we'll get to see these kind of innovative technologies in India soon. Thank you.
Thank you. That's wonderful. And, that reminds me of an African proverb. It says, tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today. And I can see y'all are definitely preparing today for our tomorrow. That's absolutely a wonderful feeling. Thank you. So back to Abhishek. We need to hear the designer in the room again. Designers often have to overcome unanticipated challenges when creating bath areas for guest rooms, especially when the building plans are frozen and the shaft size and location is predetermined. Not only must the space meet the latest guest demands and brand standards, but a wide range of logistics can affect the overall look of the space. So how would you address this, and have you experienced this, and what, according to you, are the contemporary design challenges?
Yeah, of course, Ritu. I think this question is, I'm sure you want to answer this
We
question
can
as
both
well.
have a one-on-one on it. Yes.
It's something that,
Yes, please.
yeah, I think it will make for a good discussion between, I'm sure Mr. Kadri would also have his thoughts on this one. My take is that, like anything, when we are claiming to be experts on design, then I think this comes as a mandate to us to try and convert constraints into opportunities. And the way I see it, most of the time, I mean, my team and I, we have a lot of fun taking this up as a challenge, in a constrained flow plan, because, it's like a very iterative process. As we all understand, you have to make a lot of options before you finally find the one that works, perfectly. And it's like sort of fitting in a jigsaw puzzle, So I see it as a playful act of designing where you have to find the right fit. And to me, it's quite gratifying to get to the moment where this works, you are onto something good. And from leading on to some of the other questions earlier, I do feel that the other part from a design perspective is also, how to have a certain lightness about this discussion on sustainability. I mean, I don't mean to make light of it, but how to be agile in a way that you don't feel like there is a weight on your great weight resting on the shoulders, and you are then you're not able to think a little bit sort of outside the box. So I feel that one of the responsibilities as designers that I see is how to have that attitude of having some lightness around this, and how to convert again a constraint into an opportunity, and how to maybe through some of the methods that Gaurav already described, trying to encourage having local material context, trying to have the latest technology, but do it in a way that ultimately everything contributes to the guest experience. It should not be centered around how shall I say this without sounding bad? I mean, we don't want to save the world like that, right? It's like one step at a time. But I think you need to sort of first be good at what you do, and try to have a little bit of lightness around it, if that makes any sense. And I think with the guest experience as the first and foremost principle, I think solutions emerge through a dialogue with a lot of other collaborators, especially if we have operators on board. Rizwan and Mr. Hariharan are here. I'm sure they all see all good properties are a result of a good collaboration. So a dialogue-based, collaborative, light approach, and trying to make constraints into opportunities is what I think are the best way to go about it. That's what I can think of at the moment.
I think that's great. I mean, we do have to enjoy what we do. As they say, love what you do and you'll never work a day, right? So I think that's true. One has to find the lightness in it as well, and just know that there is an aim at the end. And, if you keep that aim in mind as the ultimate goal, then definitely we should have fun while we're at it. And I'd like Mr. Kadri to add to this as well,
So, whilst we're on a lighter note, Abhishek spoke about getting the jigsaw right, and you finally cracked everything, and it's like the team is really happy, and you go in and you present, and so not the Taj guys, but the owner comes in and says, "Bhai, vastu kiya ki nahi?" So for David, Vastu, I don't know whether you're familiar with Vastu, but it's like Feng Shui in China. We have Vastu here. And, it's like everything is done, everybody is happy, and then this completely irrational constraint comes in. I mean, to designers, it just isn't rational. but you have to deal with it, because owner is demanding it, and being playful with that requires all the tenacity and all the maturity of the team to be playful with Vastu, and then build that in as well, and be satisfied with the design. And sometimes it actually works. It actually makes the design better. So yeah, just a little add-on.
In fact, while we're having fun, just a question, Mr. Kadri, would you design the room around the bathroom or the bathroom around the room?
Oh boy. I think it would be fun to design the room around the bathroom.
Okay.
And we've actually done it. We've done it, and it increases the length of the corridor. But we had a 5-meter grid, and we gave 1.5 meters of that grid to the bathroom, so we got natural light, and then 3.5 meters to the room. And the interior designer who came in, spun his magic as well to integrate both. So it actually worked. Yeah. So actually, it was integrating both.
Wonderful. Thank you. Wonderful. So over to you, Bhuvnesh. Any words would you like to add? What we have spoken today.
You still have another 10 minutes. You could go on with another question or two, and then I'll come in. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is time. You're well within time. So okay, I think you might want to ask Rizwan, Hari, Thomas, David, another question. Then I shall come and summarize. I have my details ready.
Okay. So I'm just going to have some lighter questions. I think, Mr. Cooper, any bathroom design on a holiday that stands out in your memory from experience point of view? Because we all travel, and I think I love to hear about those special memories of design that stay with a person when they've traveled.
Yeah, so I would probably think of the one, and I must say, so what one thing from my career in different industries, and now with Hans Grohe, is that no matter where I go, I'm always checking out what you've gotten, whether it's your home, whether it's your hotel, no matter at what might be. So my old days in electronics, I was looking at your brand of your TV, your audio system, your microwave, your oven, your pots, your pans, your kettles, your toaster, etc. And now I'm looking at what's in your bathroom, and in your shower, and your basin, etc., etc. So yeah, I did notice these sort of things, but I would have to say that there's one particular bathroom that stood out for me, and it's weird. It's in Japan, and it wasn't necessarily because of the design of the bathroom, but it was just after 9/11, and I was in the twin towers of this building in Japan, in Osaka, and literally there was this aeroplane that was coming literally straight for us, right after these things of 9/11. Obviously, nothing happened. It didn't come straight for us, but it was obviously heading off to the airport somewhere. But that is one particular, let's say, experience in a bathroom that I do recall in a strange environment or a strange land. Otherwise, again, I like what the guests were talking about with the natural light. And there's one that really sticks with me is this, and I won't mention the brand, but it sticks with me with this hotel that we normally stay in when we go to Istanbul in Turkey. And it's quite a high building, and again, it's just got a view to absolutely die for, the Bosphorus with a lot of natural light, a lot of glass. So I would say that's a particular bathroom that I also enjoy, and it stuck with me, in a bathroom that I also enjoy going back to, I would say, to that hotel.
That's great. Good to hear that. Thank you. Mr. Rizwan, just wanted to ask you, coming back to the Taj heritage properties, would you retrofit a heritage property with a modern bathroom or retain the old quirkiness?
Well, I think it's going to be a combination of both, Ritu. I don't think you can really, do away with the new technology to a large extent. So it has to be a well thought of combination of a traditional as well as a modern fixture and amenities, right? So I can give you an example of a property like the Falaknuma, which I myself was a part of right from start to the end. So we used a lot of fixtures which are all modern, like when it comes to the WC, the sanitary fixtures. But whereas on the CP fixtures, they were all traditional. They were all traditional and very classical, right? So there was a good mix of modern as well as traditional fixtures in the palace property. And I think that's the same that is applicable to a lot of palace properties that we have across the country. Yeah.
That's definitely a wonderful property, and I think a wonderful thing that Taj has done to bring about the palace and heritage of our country for people to see in a comfortable way that guests can enjoy. It's wonderful.
Thank you.
Mr. Hariharan, any bathroom design that stands out in your memory from the Taj properties that you would particularly like to tell us about?
Yeah, the palace properties, particularly Lake Palace, those properties, bathrooms really stands out. They are very luxurious. Earlier, Taj used to have, I think Mr. Kadri would acknowledge, we used to have those 4x4 tiles with the printed screen tiles. I think the days are gone of the printed screen tiles. Those were there in 80s and 90s. Those are there. So those are different era. Then you have those palaces bathrooms which are there. Unfortunately, in business hotels, you have the space constraints, but then the designers play around with, open glass view and everything which plays around. The other thing is resort properties. You have those outdoor showers, I don't remember the name, in Ecological or somewhere. You have outdoor showers where, you can step out and then you have with those covered with the softscape, you have those showers. With the rain showers and everything. So those are some of the things which are, stands clearly in your mind. The other questions I have for David and Gaurav is on the other side also to ask questions. One of the things on the and the responsible sourcing, when we say, we work on e-waste and a lot of other things where, it's a disposable, the responsible disposable of the asset that is there. Today, like Dell and IBM and Lenovo, they take back the, material so that they dispose it off. Is it something on CP fittings or the sanitary waste which Hans Grohe works around, again, about a decade or whenever those are taken out, how are they being disposed, or, what is it from the environmental viewpoint? Because otherwise it just goes like a scrap, it just sends out to the scrap and scrap dealer takes it out, and what he does, we don't know. So is there something on the sanitary ware fixtures that is in process or something which can throw some light? Because right now we only know about electronic waste and plastic waste and other things that is very prominent in the environment and the people know about it. But on the particular product on sanitary ware and fixtures, if you could throw some light so that next time when we do some ordering, we know that what we need to do for the existing products to be done. Thank you.
Sure. So I think that's an excellent question. It is something that has been mooted. It's something that unfortunately I cannot confirm at this moment in time that is necessarily being done, but I think it's an excellent idea, and it's possibly something that we should definitely look into for the future.
That's great. I think we would love to know more about that. Thank you so much, everyone. I think today we have definitely focused on the blue to stay green. And I would love to continue this conversation, but I think we might be running out of time. So I would like Bhuvnesh to take over to sum up for us.
Thank you, Ritu. I have the job of summarizing the show. But before I go away, I want to tell you all. I know, Hari, if you were involved, either of you, were you involved with the setting up of the Taj Megholi Sarai in Nepal?
No.
No. I must tell you all, David, if you ever plan to go for a holiday, you must go to the Taj Megholi Sarai in Nepal. It's next to the Chitwan National Park. Talk about outdoor bathrooms. It's experience from another planet, right? You have elephants walking right down to the edge of your room and peeping through the windows and your doors, right? It's an amazing experience, one place to be in. Having said that, I feel like such a pygmy over here sharing space with such large personalities, especially people of art, designers, architects. I don't know how you people think. I have a limit. I can't. I mean, I have a mental space which I have not been able to graduate, not an engineer like Gaurav and most of you, but I have huge respect for your art, for what you do, for your form. Rahul, we've read so much about your father, about your firm, about you, what all you have done. Abhishek, you're young. You've really climbed up the ladder fast. And Ritu, you, right? Having said that, in Rizwan and Hari, we have two Taj stalwarts. Taj really has people who stay with them. It's like a large family. And I'm sure that's how it goes with Hansgrohe. Great lineage. I have some questions which have come in. There are a whole lot of them. I'm going to pick and choose. You've touched a raw nerve with Cape Town, David.
Yes.
Right? So there is a question from Shreya for David. In fact, there are two back to back. A few years ago, Cape Town went through the worst drought-led water crisis. You live in the Cape. How has South Africa tackled this never-before water crisis? And there's another one to go with it once after you answer.
I'm sorry, what's the second? I didn't hear the second part.
The second one I'll come to.
Oh.
Yeah.
So how did we as South Africans deal with the water crisis? Do I understand correctly?
Yes.
No, it was where do I start? I think where we were quite fortunate is that it's here in the Western Cape. We actually had some exceptional leadership that came in, unfortunately, a little bit late, I must say, but when it actually came in, we had some excellent leadership. And I think everybody came together. Everybody understood the seriousness of the situation. And it wasn't a problem, I would say, that was out there, that it was someone else's problem. It wasn't necessarily going to happen. It was something that was very, very real. And I think everybody, for the most part, understood that they had a hand to play in the success of this. And when it came from changing our shower heads, I mean, I know with Hansgrohe, I mean, we donated a lot of shower heads to green shower heads, I should say, to, let's say, government facilities, homes, or old age homes, children's homes, etc., just so everybody could try and get the water usage down. Hotels revamped. Hotels did soft refurbs, whereby they would change to let's say eco-friendly overheads or low flow shower heads, and we would, let's say, we would also contribute to the cost of those products. There were buckets in all the showers in the hotels. People in their homes, like I said, had buckets in the showers. There were these huge tanks that people had in their gardens, installed in their gardens, so they could save rainwater if and when it did rain, so that they could either use their water, have it plumbed into their house to use, which I think is actually, going forward, I think it's also just responsible living. I think it's probably the way it should be, but it's not. Okay. And the nice thing is a lot of these are still in place. So going forward, I mean, it has rained, but these are still in place. So going forward, hopefully, will also lessen the opportunity for this to happen in the future.
So what you actually did was answer the second question, which was about what products did Hansgrohe bring in during the crisis. Yeah, I'm going to go with my next question is from Akshay for Rahul. with your rich experience and understanding of your art and the industry, how do you engage with the new generation of designers, architects, and project heads for that fine balance between sustainability and design aesthetics? Rahul, for you. Unmute.
How do we engage with young designers? Young designers form a very, very integral part of our team. And project heads. Yeah. So I think all of them. So the way we work is it's a fairly democratic process where our focus is on customers and what our customers really want. We are always trying to prioritize, because there's always a budget. We're always trying to prioritize what the customer wants. So we work in narratives. We work with narratives like, say, as a guest, I would like to experience this so that I am able to do this, right? So our project heads are only allowed to define the problem. They are not allowed in the studio to give the solution. So they define what has to be done, which comes from their interaction with the customers and the client. So they define what is to be done, and the young designers and architects have to come up with how to solve it. So their creativity comes in and how to solve it. The senior designer cannot say how to solve it, because that's how we get newer solutions coming in, and the creativity of younger people. Old fogies like us think the same way again and again, but young people come in. So because the way the office is structured, this is a natural process in the office. Does that answer your question?
It is. All right. So it's time to summarize the show. And before I thank you all, Abhishek Mathur, this is what I summarize from what you've said. One of the strongest touch points of any hotel room is the bathroom. It's also about giving bathroom a personality by creating design details to smallest accessory in place. Right?
That's right.
Rizwan, a design brief is clearly spelled out, but is specified that the design should not be overdone.
Yeah, that's right. It's very clearly spelled, but we're not really overdoing it.
Perfect. Ritu, maintenance is of absolute importance, and materials play a very important part in that. A beautiful African quote to sum up: tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today.
Thank you.
I'm sure David is going to take it to Africa. He's already there. Right? Hari, water saving is about using the water carefully. An innovative idea of having touch-free dispenser for soap is what we did at Taj. There is always innovation while renovating the bathrooms. Also, while procurement, we also do responsible sourcing and risk management with our vendors. But that's not going to be very good for guests who are fond of taking all those soaps and shampoos. Right? Rahul, right? It's about balancing all the components in the bathroom, in the space, giving much bigger sense of space. A time will come where we will have multifaceted bathrooms, experimenting with natural light and space. We can lend a close to resort-like experience. It'll be fun to design a room around the bathroom. Is that right? Okay. David, as a leading global brand, design is important for us. Our focus is now on new target market and acquisitions of new customers in the economic segment. The versatility of our products and the ability to choose between different and attractive design provide the right solution for every bathroom, lifestyle, and taste. Does it sum it up?
Sounds good.
All
Sounds
right.
good. I get a copy of it.
Yeah, you shall. It's there. Gaurav, the values that we add are the core pillars of sustainability. The last thing I'd like to add is about getting plants into bathroom. Very, very nice. Actually, it's very valid. It's a great health benefit. It also is about having a little bit of patience to beautify our planet while having the bathroom equipped with environmental products. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I can only thank my master and my stars for being able to share the same screen space with such big names, right? Rahul, I've always wanted. This is my second show with Abhishek and Ritu, right? My second show with Hari, first with Rizwan, first with David, and now second with Gaurav. But Rahul, I've always wanted to do one with you. I'm blessed to have been able to do a show with you, a show with all of you. It's truly been a pleasure. How this 1.5 hours slipped away, we didn't even know. Having said that, Rizwan, thank you for coming in. We had 3 of them coming in from Taj, Hari, Rizwan. Actually, we have more than 3 with Abhishek, Ritu, and Rahul doing a lot of work with Taj. But we also had Rima Diwan, who was to be here on the show. She had to pull out. She's been indisposed. I miss you here on the show, Rima. While Rizwan and Hari have made it, we shall soon do another special with you. Ladies and gentlemen, our next show is on the 6th of November